Welcome back to another episode of Sacred Wild Man. This one's going up on my YouTube and my Instagram, and it's a little bit less formal than what I usually put out on YouTube. Just because I feel the tug to share. So today is July 24th, Sunday. And what a week it has been since Monday, which was, I believe, July 18th or something. So it's been a very eventful week. And I'm titling this video Courage to Show Up as a Man, because this week has been a lesson in that. So at the beginning of this week, I launched a workshop titled Setting Boundaries with Women. And this has been inspired by feedback I've gotten from my clients. So many of my male clients have shared that they're afraid to set boundaries with women, to say what they want, ask for what they want, to be able to say no. And so I thought, this is a big issue, and I'm going to do something about it. That's where the inspiration came from. And I'm also currently in a business coaching program. And one of the challenges for this past week after our last call was, to sell something, to sell a workshop or to sell a coaching session. And I thought, I'm going to take you up on that. I've been working on something and I'm going to launch it. So I launched it on Tuesday, July 19th, and did all the work in the background to kind of set that up. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to launch this. It's not going to be a huge launch. It's not going to be something massive or super, professional marketing type imagery. It's going to be simple. Like, I wanted to keep it simple. That's where I feel the energy to launch it. And I've done the most kind of marketing, advertising, promoting that I've ever done. None of it was paid. I just did it through social media and through my email list. So every single day sharing something. Workshop enrollment ends this day, and just sharing some thoughts of why this workshop is valuable, my personal involvement in it and experience with it. I got some feedback, so some men online saying, yeah, I definitely want to attend this workshop next time. I can't make it this time. Got a lot of support from women too, saying, yes, this is a very important topic, and thank you for sharing about it, because men do need to know. And only one man applied. I was prepared for 0 because, nobody had responded to saying, yes, I'm going to go to this. But a friend of mine said, kind of last minute, changed his mind, because earlier he was saying, I don't think this topic of setting boundaries with women is one I really need help with. So I thought, okay, yeah, so it's going to be 0 people. That's fine. I'm super exhausted anyways. And then he later changed my mind and said, hey, I'm going to go to that workshop. Can you send me the link for the payment? And then he said, I'm just here to show you support. Also just wanted to see you in action. So I was like, you know what? I really appreciate that. And our friendship, how that was formed, was even crazier than that. Basically, I met him at a ayahuasca retreat ceremony in Costa Rica. Pretty wild time, one that was really difficult for me. And so for him to reach out to me, for us to have stayed friends throughout that, message each other once in a while, that's something to me. And so yeah, I just did the workshop with him today, and that was it. And I told myself, I'm going to run this workshop whether it's 1 man or 100 men who attend. But throughout the process, throughout this whole week of promoting it, I had the highs of when I finally launched it. It's like, yes, I'm putting myself out there. Right? This is something I created. I birthed forward. And there was that sense of my masculine edge, of my penetrativeness, like, here, I'm moving forward. Here I am. And to still, have no men actually apply to enroll It's like, man, this is difficult to hold, like the sensations, the emotions that are there. And yeah, I was prepared for Zero Men to show up, launch it another time. I had a whole bunch of stories running in my head about why this is, judgments about myself, judgments about other men, about the state of men in our world, especially here in the West. And I just allowed that to happen. I watched it all, and coming back to a place of these are thoughts and stories and narratives floating around, and I'm watching them like a movie. And I can choose to get sucked into them, or I can just choose to acknowledge that they're there, feel what is here, allow it to run through my body, and keep going. And I really got to test and feel this sense of what some have called, instead of doing the ready, aim, fire method, to do the fire, fire, aim, ready. So you just go for it. And then after it is over, you then reevaluate. What could I have done better, if anything? And what did I learn from this experience? So as I was constantly promoting, it was just a sense of, fire, 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 and then aim, ready, do it again. And just to observe myself doing that, as opposed to, why aren't people signing up? What's going on? What should I do? Just all reflect on that after, but I'm going to launch. So that was pretty exhausting, the highs of that and the lows of that. And then on Friday, I told a woman, I would really like to take you out on a date. It was something that I had been thinking about for some time, but I wasn't sure because our relationship formed as a friendship. And in the beginning, I didn't have any specific chemistry or attraction towards her. It's like, she's an attractive woman. But, this feels more like a friendship. And then over time, I was like, there's something about her, and I don't know exactly what it is. Some of her goofiness, some of her ability just to be herself. And then also more intention of her own inner work. I was like, this is attractive to me. That plus the physical attraction, like the physical attractiveness, I like it, but it needs this other substance, and that's what kind of pulled me forward to say, I'm going to take the risk. She said yes, and then we were planning a time for our date, and then the next day I sent a text saying, hey, I actually have something going on this day that is important to me. So here's my other idea of, maybe we can do Sunday or split the day. And then she sends a longer text. Hey, after some further reflection, my instinct is just telling me, no, I don't feel real chemistry here. I was just flattered in the moment. So that was disappointing to hear, because I was really looking forward to it. And all these things together was a lot within just a week. And again, all these thoughts, narrative stories that I could tell myself, and also the feelings and emotions that are there. What is interesting was yesterday, even before I had received her text, I didn't sleep much last night. The night after I had told her, I want to take you out. I was journaling a lot, journaling on relationships, journaling on my own value within myself. And in the morning, I was like, I'm not going to bother to try to sleep in, because it doesn't feel worth it to me anymore. I should just get up. So I got up, and there was this sense of, I need to be alone. I need to seek solitude. I'm alone most of the time already. And I've been single for 13 years. Not because I haven't tried, just it hasn't worked. And that's been something that I've had to work on within myself. And I was like, I need solitude, but outside, in nature, in the wild. So I decided to go to a park. And I got this staff here. It's not going to fit in the frame. But I have this staff which I picked up along this journey, which inadvertently I went on what some would call a vision quest. I know that's, I think, a Native American thing. And to me, I just was feeling the pull. I need to go out, and I need to be alone. And I walked on the same path that I've walked before on this park, which is by the ocean. And then I did some different things this time. You know, I saw a tree and I was like, I want to climb this tree. So I climbed the tree and I got up there. I was like, man, this feels amazing. The times that I've climbed a tree before, it's always felt that way. And then I walked down to the beach, took my sandals off, like I want to be barefoot on the ocean floor, stepping on the seaweed, on the algae, stepping on sharp or round, smooth stones and rocks. Painful, but also good massage on the bottom of my feet. And I was just observing nature. And there were some moments where, as I was going farther along, because I wanted to go to a place that I haven't seen before, I had some anxiety. I was like, man, like if the tide comes in, am I going to be trapped here? Am I going to drown potentially? But I just kept walking. I kept going. There were some moments where I thought, you know, maybe I should go back, because I know the path back. But there was something in my gut that was just like, let's go a little bit further. And so I did. Some sense of adventure was calling. I need to go. I need to go. And then I reached this area where it was an off-beaten path, high incline going up. Not completely vertical, but pretty steep. And again, I had staff in one hand, backpack, sandals in the other hand. And I went. And I was in this area where I had never seen before. I have no idea where I am or how it connects back to a main path. I just kept going. And then there were moments where I was holding this staff like a spear almost. Because it just felt like the right thing to do. Primal, right? My whole website titled Sacred Wild Man. Right? There's a sacredness and there's a wildness to the essence of man. And that felt awesome, just to be there. Absolutely grounded, 100% present. And wasn't thinking about anything else. Just here. And then I reached this point where it's a very high incline, lots of sand, dry sand. So when you step into it, it's not like it's firm and it holds you. You sink. And it's just like stepping in a lot of sand that keeps pulling you down. Not like a sand trap or anything, or quicksand, but just very loose sand. And so my calves and my quads were burning and activated. I was beginning to pant a little bit, so I was like, yeah, this is a workout. But I could see up along the path, this would connect to a main road or trail that I had come from. So I said, I want to try to scale that. If I can't, I'll have to go all the way back around this long way, which I will if I need to, but I want to try to scale this. And this kind of ties into a powerful reading that I had with an astrologer who also does human design, who talked about like there's going to be this phase in your life that you're going through now where you need to be alone. And it'll probably also be good for you to go out and climb a mountain, right? Literally just for yourself to know that you can do this by yourself. And I'm climbing. There were some moments where I didn't ever look down, but I thought, if I slip, this is going to be not good. And it's like, all I'm looking at is the top. I'm throwing my staff up to ledges because I need to use all my limbs to climb. And then there was a certain point where it just sunk in. I'm going to make it. I can scale this incline. And I reach the top. I run into another guy there who's deciding to go down, which I think is actually harder in terms of you have to be really careful if you're going down that incline. And so I talked to him briefly. And then reaching the top, I knew the moment that I reached the top, I would shout, I would scream in joy, in celebration. And there's some people off to the side. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. You guys have nothing on me. I just scaled this incline, these heights. So I'm going to celebrate. And so I just shouted. I was like, woo! But a lot louder. And then they started laughing. And I was like, that's it. Time to go back home. And I felt elated, absolutely elated and alive. And it was after this that I saw her text about what I mentioned earlier, and there was a slight deflation, but I was like, you know what? It's no accident that I chose to do this morning. And it just had me thinking, like, so much of this week, things that happened could have gotten me down. In the past, they probably would have gotten me very low. In times past, they have similar things. And there's been coping mechanisms that I just fall back to. And oftentimes those vices would have been eating a lot, or playing video games, or looking at pornography. None of that is stuff that I'm interested in. There is this sense of, I will let myself feel the pain. I will let myself go through the slow burn of feeling what needs to be felt here. There's nothing to escape or run away from. It's supposed to be here, as painful as it is. And I believe that's a part of what it means to be a man, to show up, is that the process of becoming a man requires tension and friction. And at times it requires painful aloneness. You have to be alone. And it's in those moments of painful aloneness that you have this other sense of, you know, I'm being forged. And I can choose to surrender and submit to the process or not. But in those moments, there's this tragic beauty of really feeling alive, right? There's nothing else. This is the reality of what I'm feeling. And I'm alive. I'm not numbed out, I'm not dissociated, I'm not distracted. I'm feeling it all. And I can let this be the energy needed to alchemize, to transmute, to transform, and to evolve and grow. And through times past, throughout history, human history, that was what was needed for both men and women. A trial, an initiation, a dark night of the soul, many ego deaths and evolutions. Caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly. And I think it's been different before, but now it feels especially different. Of this, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. And something is awakening. And I'm not going to be the same after this. Just like I'm not going to be the same after times previous where I've gone through these ego deaths and deaths and rebirths. And I'm proud of myself for it. Like the adult self and the young self, inner child within me, there's a harmony between them. And it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to move forward. Move forward with a level of aggression, which means to move forward or hold fast to, stand your ground. And I think this is something that every man has to go through. Individually and, collectively. And I think that's all I have to say about it. In spite of all the lows, the highs, and the lows dropping from those highs, this process of ascension, descension, ascension, descension, I'm here for it. What else is there to do? What else is here? and I will find my way through it. And what comes through the fire, what comes through the coal, which is hotter than just the initial burning fire, that's a big show. The coals at the end, that's where the real alchemy is. And what comes through the ashes of that, I will give birth into the world, and I will share, and I will lead. So I wanted to share this story. And whatever transmission comes through, may it be of the highest benefit to you who see this.